Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for August 10th. August 11th. God damn it. Really? God damn it. The time changed as soon as I said August 10th. Now it's August 11th. So, August 11th, 2019, with your host, SpaceBaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
It literally changed when I said that. I could not help that.
By the way, if it sounds like I'm aggravated, it's because I am. Tried to do something to the staff page. I do one thing, and it refuses to let the one thing change. Needless to say, I am slightly pissed.
Well, we have a lot of good news this week. Nothing really bad. Well, we have a dumb thing. And that's kind of it. before we get into the news and all sorts of other fun stuff, Sally, what you been playing these last couple weeks?
Think about the only thing outside of streaming stuff has been Fortnite.
Have you been liking the new season? Outside of the one thing that I know everybody hates, but...
Which one thing?
Okay, the first thing that everyone hated, and then the second thing everyone hated that came later.
Okay, which was the first thing and which was the second thing?
The first thing was the brutes.
Oh, okay. I like them. I hate that everyone wants to just self-destruct them whenever I let someone else hop in with me, but yeah. Yeah. I kind of feel like I like this new challenge method, and I'm like, you know, I kind of want to see how far I can go this time around, just to kind of maybe be one more person that's like, okay, let's keep doing it this way.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I'm like, they're going to change it next season. I already know.
Probably
going to go back to how it was, which I wouldn't be a fan of.
Yeah, the second thing everyone hated was, Tilted Town.
I haven't had to go there. Let's put it that way. I have flown over the top of it, and that is it.
I've seen why people don't like Tilted Town, but I've only been there once and I didn't have to really deal with anyone, so. Otherwise, I've liked the season. Like, there's nothing I absolutely hate. I do like the new challenge setup. It is a good way of going, hey, here's dailies, kind of, but you are still getting rewarded for it. And mostly just, there's just a really good sense of progression with everything you do now.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing I probably could say about it is some of them feel too easy. But that can be said about any season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm a fan of the method right now. Whether
I need to hop on.
Stays is going to be a whole nother question.
Yeah, I need to hop on tomorrow and chip away at stuff. Because I did a little bit like couple days ago, but I didn't do a whole lot on the limited time challenges, so I need to do more on that. And then it's like half of them will be open by then. I can like burn through most of them. And maybe while I'm at it, pick up the secret weekly, the secret battle pass stars, maybe, if they are actually working now instead of just not working.
If they're a thing now. I would figure they goofed that up.
Nope, it will come in the 10.10 patch. So you'll probably be picking it up with like the week 3 one, maybe. Anything else?
No.
Been chipping away at mobile stuff, which I think I've burned myself out on mobile games. I just can't be invested in a gacha game anymore. I would rather just play with the stuff I want instead of just spinning the wheel on in until I get what I want and then get to play with it.
I mean, I can understand that.
Because, like, there's a Gundam one out right now that lets you, like, build your own Gundam. Like, Gunpla style, with all the different parts from all these different series and stuff. And that's cool! And that's, like, what the Build series is kind of, like, marketing as to get in the Gunplas to do that kind of deal. But it's a gacha game, so you don't get what you want from the series you like. You're just spinning the wheel in hopes of getting stuff. And even then, like, since there's stats attached to everything, the best things you could build probably aren't going to be the best looking ones either. Because it's just going to be a cavalcade of parts. So, And what's even worse is that you can get paint in, like, you can get different paint jobs and stuff for your Gundams, but you want to know how you unlock those?
How?
You essentially have to get every part for a certain Gundam, and then you get that paint scheme. There is no other paint and color options in the game. Outside of...
kind of messed up.
Yeah, so unless you want, like, the mix mash of colors from the parts, because they'll be their default colors if you don't, like, paint over them. Like, you gotta hope you get a set bonus at some point. Or you get a complete set of something at some point, and hope it's good looking. But otherwise, the game itself, which was Gundam Battle something or other, I can't remember the whole name. It's like a 3D arena shooter game. I snapped the difficulty in half in like 5 seconds, so it's not the most difficult of games. What else? Three Houses is great and wonderful, and I love it. And also, Ty put up a Twitter poll asking if he should do Three Houses or Persona 5, and he's going to do Three Houses. So this should be fun. I have a sneaking suspicion that he's going to do the Golden Deer House, because that fits his personality. Because Edelgard is the noble, fancy house. The Blue Lions is the, like, bare bones, basic, here is the Marth team. Here's your standard Fire Emblem team. And then Golden Deer is, here's all the little, like, here's the not noble people. Here's the fun characters. So I fully expect him to pick Golden Deer. Which I'm not sure how much, like, your picking your path changes what you do month to month, because I haven't looked in that, because I've stayed blind to a lot of the story stuff. Trying to think of what else. I don't think I've really played that much of anything else outside of what we've been streaming. Anything else before we hit articles?
I don't think so.
All right. We're going to kick off with Indivisible. You remember this game?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
All right. I've actually played a demo of this game from a while back. It's from Lab Zero, who did Skullgirls, which is why the art style probably looks familiar.
Yeah.
It's a RPG platformer where the combat it's been a long time since I played the demo, so I might be a little wrong on this, but each character is assigned to a button, to a face button, and you have to hit the face buttons like in a, it's kind of rhythm-like, where you're trying to like hit them in a certain order to like combo your attacks appropriately and stuff. Does that make sense? It's very like non-standard RPG mechanics, but it feels really good to play. I really enjoyed it. And you get all sorts of different characters with all sorts of different moves and stuff. So it's really interesting, the comps you can do. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, but the reason we're bringing it up is because it now has a release date. After being in development and being kickstarted for like a while. October 8th of this year, you will finally be able to pick it up on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, with a Switch release date coming hopefully soon after that.
Coming soon.
Yes.
Nothing
I'm really
good ever
excited.
comes out of coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I really dug what I played, and I really encourage you to check this game out. I believe the demo is accessible. It's like freely accessible now if you want to take a look at it. It gives you a perfect like vertical slice of what Indivisible is. Because not only does it give you the platforming stuff and like general combat stuff, you even get a boss fight in there. So you kind of get like everything you would normally get in the game, and you have a full 4-man party the entire time. But yay! Now we talk Le Pokemon. The Pokemans. Because this past week, we had a trailer drop giving us more information about the new Pokemon. And we've got new Pokemans, and new characters, and a new gameplay mechanic. So, kicking things off, we're getting a repeat of the Alolan forms that we got in Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, now called Galarian forms. First off, we have Galarian Wheezing.
AKA
which is totally
Internet Bong.
AKA, like, because of its description, it is fighting for the environment. Because have you read it, the flavor text for this Pokemon? It actually inhales pollution and produces clean air. It is literally saving the world one puff at a time.
Oh boy.
Also, this is totally not the Pokemon as I've seen on Twitter for Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. And yes, I will make that reference. I'm old enough to make that reference. Don't at me on that. But it's Poison Fairy type with Levitate and an unrevealed ability. Not much else was revealed about it. I'm not gonna lie, I like it. Granted, I liked a lot of the Alolan forms as well. But what most got really interesting was when we got to Galarian Zigzagoon and his evolutionary line. Who is apparently a really big fan of Kiss because of the color scheme and the design aesthetics. And I think the one of the people from Kiss commented on it and liked it. But it's now Dark Normal type with Glutton and Pickup as its abilities. We also got a Galarian form for Lenogne. And because of this new Galarian form, Zigzagoon has a third evolution. Or third form, technically. Not a third evolution. A second evolution, but third form. Called Obstagone. Again, Dark Normal type with the abilities Reckless and Guts. And it has an move called Obstruct, which I assume blocks damage to some degree. Not sure on that one, but yeah. So this confirms that not only will Galarian forms give new versions to old Pokemon, they will also be outside of Gen 1, with Zigzagoon being Gen 3?
I think.
Yes, Gen 3. But it can also give them new evolutions as well, which is really good. Like, this is the kind of material I like. And finally, we have our electric rodent for this generation called Morpeko. It is electric dark type with the ability Hunger Switch, and it has two distinct forms. It's normal full belly mode. Well, it's normally electric type, pure electric, and it's full belly mode. But if it gets hungry, it turns into its hangry mode.
Oh, so you need to feed it the Snickers.
Yes. And for reference, folks, that is not a joke. It is literally called hangry mode. That is the official name of it. Also, I have seen this Pokemon get recolored in double colors. And you know what's even better?
What?
Both modes work for that. You got regular Cyclone Joker, and then you have Fang Joker.
Very true.
But in full belly mode, it has a signature move Aura Wheel, which, since it's a hamster Pokemon, it essentially runs on a wheel and then rams it into people. But the change actually happens every turn, so I guess you have to play strategically with this one, since it is swapping back and forth between electric and dark type every turn. I wonder if it resets at the end of a battle and before it starts again, or if it stays in that mode until the next fight. That I'm curious about. So, how you feeling about the new Pokemons that have been revealed?
I feel kind of indifferent on that because, okay, we're not getting all of the past Pokemon in this one.
Yes.
Because I've already said that. We're getting region-specific forms. It's one of those that I feel like we're not going to have as many unique Pokemon coming out of this again.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried about that. Because I was listening to Game Explain do predictions for this, and they were thinking that we could get Stage 2 evolutions for our starters by now. But no sign or no hide nor hair of those. And the only new Pokemon here is our electric rodent. Otherwise, it is Galarian forms of existing Pokemon. While they're good, it's still not new Pokemon.
And I mean, is it bad that I'm kind of starting to feel like maybe we need new blood on it? Because it almost is getting to the feeling where they're running out of ideas.
I could see that. I could see we getting some fresh blood, some fresh people on Pokemon to do something new with it. Granted, Pokemon could do with being on a longer development cycle for that. That might help a little.
I mean, I feel like at this point they see Pokemon as a cash grab that it is, I'm not denying that. But they're trying to over-capitalize off of it, and that's gonna backfire hard.
Well, and I guess I would say better news, we have two more rivals besides our friend and not an asshole trainer. We have Beatty, who is one of your rivals. He's becoming champion, and he's being sponsored by the chairman. I fully expect him to be an asshole. He looks like an asshole. Then we have Marini, who's another rival. She's calm and calculated, and a bit on the punk rock goth side in her design. But she is connected to our, I'm not going to say evil team, because they're not really evil. They are, as the title of this show implies, a bunch of rowdy and drunk fans. Because it's Team Yo, who are her fans, and they're rowdy and obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie, I like the idea that our initial, like, not evil team, but the ones we're probably gonna be dealing with a lot initially, are just a bunch of rowdy asshole fans who will not shut the fuck up and, like, stop being dicks.
You know what would be funny? If every battle that you got into with them, like, after every turn they had some kind of dialogue.
They are in the background of her trainer battles. You can see them on the sidelines, even in like battles out in the wild. They are there. I so hope that's the case. That would be amazing. If it's just like, you suck! Hey, it wasn't super effective. Do a super effective move, dummy. And finally, we have a new gameplay mechanic. This time in the Pokemon Centers, you have Ratomi essentially inhabiting the PCs, and with that, you can accept Pokejobs, which are more or less, hey, you 7 Pokemon that are in my PC, go do a job for people.
So it's basically making use of the whole catch them all, but because you're catching them all for different reasons.
Yeah. And sending them out on this job does give them experience. And you can even get rare items from this, so you do have benefits for doing this outside of, hey, I can actually do something with all the Pokemon that are in my PC besides just them sitting there doing nothing. So, how you feeling about the thing of our new trailer overall? Because this all came from a trailer.
I mean, I feel like I want to wait a little bit on it before being at the whole commit kind of deal, because as you pointed out, we've not really seen much of the Pokemon for this generation.
Yeah. That has me more concerned than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those I'm kind of more concerned on that part of it.
Mm-hmm. But I guess here's hoping. If I am picking this up, I'm probably picking up Sword at this point. Sword has got me swayed. Mainly because I want Dog who wields Sword. And I am also swayed by the artwork of him trying to fetch a sword and him fetching every other sword in history.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. In news coming out of EVO, probably the most interesting news, because the rest of the news that came out of EVO was mainly just like, here's new fighters for X, Y, or Z game that was featured at EVO. And if you're Street Fighter, you had that announcement like 3 days earlier on accident because Steam accidentally leaked it.
Way to go,
Or if
Valve.
you're Evo them. Yep. Or if you're Evo themselves, you might have gotten in trouble with Konami because you might have implied a snake reveal of some sort when there was none. A snake reveal related to Tekken, mind you. But the most interesting news came out of it is Arc System Works is working on a new Guilty Gear. They showed off a trailer with a stage transition and, well, not much else outside of normal Guilty Gear combat. But the 2.5 HD fighter is coming 2020, and they're promising like a brand new Guilty Gear from the ground up. This is not like this is like brand new from top to bottom. This is what we're going to be expecting from this. So pretty cool. Any interest on your part?
Not really, no.
I know it's got Ty's interest because he's been playing Guilty Gear recently. Granted, Guilty Gear looks like nonsense in terms of a fighter, of just like, wait, what? Because I was watching the local finals for his area that he was commentating. Yeah, it looks like some real nonsense at high level play. In some dumb news, DayZ is apparently banned in Australia, and you want to know why?
Why?
Marijuana. Apparently, in the game's code are references to marijuana to some degree. I don't think the article specifies to the exact degree. But because of this, it is banned in Australia. Because that violates, I guess, some like ratings board thing in Australia. Bohemian intends on appeasing the board to get it released back in Australia, or get the ban unlifted. But yeah, game is banned because marijuana is not in the game proper, mind you. It's only in the code. It's not physically in the game to any degree.
Yet.
So, how do you feel?
I mean, it's kind of funny that it took Australia to be the ones to catch it.
I just find it funny that it's like, it's in the code. It's in the code. We have to ban it. We're not even showing any players using it. You don't know how. I'm like,
and what makes me wonder, do they just have people they hire to go through code for games to see if there's any issues like that? Because, I mean, if it's in the game's files, you have to be digging for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, from my understanding of how the ESRB's set up for us, it's a case of developers send the worst possible content in their game to them for review.
Yes.
So, truthfully, I don't think ESRB ever has their hands on the actual game files. How in the world did they pull that off?
No, all they get is like a highlight reel for the game. That's all they get. Well, in better news, also coming out of EVO, it's not as interesting because we know nothing, but Riot Games is in fact working on a fighting game. Their second ever game, mind you.
I mean, knowing that, I kind of feel like it has to have something tying it to League at some point.
I mean, probably. Maybe.
I don't feel like it's we're gonna just come out of the gate with a brand new idea for a fighting game. I feel like it's going to use properties they've already got just to try to capitalize a little more on the esports scene.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, would people actually be willing to play something like that? Especially on a competitive level?
If it looks good enough, yeah, but it has to look good.
I mean, I don't know.
And that's all I had for news. It's kind of a slow news week, to be honest. There wasn't really that much else to talk about. Granted, we're in the kind of dry portion of gaming news, I feel like.
Well, everyone done blew their load on E3, so I mean...
Yeah, right now it's release season.
Well, let me rephrase that. Everyone except for Sony and Microsoft blew their load because of E3.
Yeah, it's less...
They just legitimately don't have anything.
Yeah, it's less news season and more release season. But I guess, shall we talk releases?
If I would quit doing the wrong thing here, I guess so.
All right then, starting off on the 12th.
Hold on. Okay.
All right. Starting off on the 12th, we have Esport Manager for the Switch. You too can be an esports manager now. Yay. And on the 13th, we have Ancestors Legacy for Xbox One, Exception for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Friday the 13th, the game Ultimate Slasher Switch Edition for Switch. I thought that game had legal troubles.
I guess not.
Well, the legal trouble they ran into is that they couldn't update the game anymore. Like, they could only patch what was already existing. So I don't know if they could release a new version of it on Switch. Well, they could just release the current version, but even then, I don't think they can do that. I guess they cleared it up. Anyway, we also have Never Give Up on Switch, Sariento VR for PlayStation 4, and Stellaris Utopia for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. On the 14th, we have Fail Seal Arbiter's Mask for Switch, Slay the Spire for Xbox One, and Vasara Collection for Xbox One. On the 15th, we have Cryo Gear for Switch, Little Do for Switch, Rogue Singularity for Switch, and Vasara Collection for Switch. On the 16th, we have Aristana in the Twin Masks for Xbox One, Escape from the Universe for Switch, and Gradia HD Collection for Switch. On the 18th, we have Far Lone Sails for Switch, and on the 19th, we have Headliner Novi News for Switch. And on the 20th, we have Dead Cells Action Game of the Year for PlayStation 4 and Switch. That's a weird title for a Game of the Year edition. It's technically Action Game of the Year. Not Game of the Year, just Action Game of the Year. We also have Killer Queen Black for Switch, Metal Wolf Chaos XD for PlayStation 4. This is that weird, dumb game on the Xbox where you're the president of the United States piloting a mech trying to kill the vice president, I think. I think it's the vice president. It's weird and dumb, and it's Japanese. Like, you could probably look up a trailer for it, and that will tell you everything about the tone of this game and how nonsensical it is. We also have Rad for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Remnant from the Ashes for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Truck Racing Championship for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution for Switch. I have not played anything Yu-Gi-Oh! Related in fucking forever. It probably doesn't help that, you know how I didn't watch Brains when it first started?
Yeah.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, yeah, no, they fucked over their female protagonists again. And also kind of crapped the bed again. Late into the show's run.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
that one was needed after as many as you said up to that point. And I'm serious, that one was needed, because, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm looking at Twitter at the moment. Tom Constantine at Twitter is at an official Writer Sentai event for the year. And they have a couple Geo figure arts shown off. Would you care to guess which ones? Which Geo related forms that are being shown off?
Which ones?
The Kuga armor and the Den-O armor.
Well,
I also love how both of these have the watches with actual stickers on them. Unlike the regular Geo figure arts that do not have the stickers on the watches, they're blank. The plastic's the right color, but there's nothing on the face of it, which is the most annoying thing in the world. Anyway, continuing with releases, on the 21st, we have Fire Pro Wrestling World Wonder Ring Stratton Collection, or Collaboration DLC for PlayStation 4. And finally, on the 22nd, we have Black Desert for PlayStation 4, Life is Strange 2, Episode 4 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That has, gotten far less attention than the first one did. I'm not crazy in saying that, right?
no, you're not.
Alright. We also have Milkmaid of the Milky Way for Switch. Oniaki for PlayStation 4 and Switch. That's got a demo on the Switch at the moment. I played a little bit of it. I wasn't super into it, but I was coming off of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, so I probably wasn't in the best mood for another isometric brawler. We also have Sega Ages, Puyo Puyo, and Space Harrier for Switch, and Super Dodgeball Beats for the Switch. Which brings us to Quick Draws, and mine. I don't remember if I've done this one already. I didn't go back through all our notes to double check. But they moved YouTube channels, so it's probably a good thing I do it now. The Soto Pop Podcast is a podcast I listen to. They come out every, I think it's Monday, late Monday, 1 o'clock Monday morning. I don't know why they put out episodes so late. But they cover the Soto toy line for Ryder, which is a really cool toy line that does everything for Ryder from X8 forward. They have done... Oh god, I'm trying to think of everything they've done. They've done all 3 forms of graphite from X8. I'm trying to think of the weird off-the-wall things that they've done. They've done all 3 forms for graphite. Yes, graphite had 3 forms. They were all different colors, but yes. They did the X8 form from a Televicon special that led into another ending that gave X8 like level 39 Knockout Fighter 2 form. For build, they did all of the best matches that were shown in the series. So every single best match, no matter if they got like one appearance or not, they got them all. They did both of the Hell Brother suits, so the one from Heisei Generations. Yeah, the one from Heisei Generations and the one from the series proper, along with their individual separated forms. They did all the Evolt forms. They did all the cross stuff. They did practically every suit in build, including the Guardians in all different varieties to troop build. And for Geo, they've done all of the main rider ride armors. All of them. And they've done a lot of the Geo side material too. They've done Shinobi and Hatari from the Shinobi special. They've done all the future riders. From their wording, they're probably doing Aqua like very soon.
Oh, wow.
And they're gonna do all the movie riders too in Oma form for Geo. So if you ever wanted a complete lineup for Soto, this is it. But that's the line. This podcast, which is hosted by, let me make sure I get the names right. Frozen Stratos, Molinus, and Josh Berry. They are, two of them run the RRR Infinity podcast for Rider and Sentai. Molinus is someone I know from DeviantArt who does a lot of like original writer artwork and story stuff. Yeah, it's a really good podcast. So if you're interested in this toy line or interested in any kind of candy toy stuff, because they also do Shoto, which covers older Sentai or older rider series, Yudo, which is the Sentai equivalent, and a bit of mini plot every now and again for Sentai. I highly encourage it. It's a really good podcast. They recently moved from their channel over to RRR Infinity. So now you have to follow RRR Infinity for that. So yeah. Also, if you're listening, you might hear my name get mentioned in terms of comments, because I'm like one of the only people who comment on their podcast. Oh, it is so weird to run into people who are, I wouldn't say of equal standing in terms of where people interact, but like it certainly feels that way.
Yeah, I'd say we're at least in the same ballpark as them.
I was about to say, their channel has how many subscribers? 106? How much did ours have before we stopped? Oh, half.
Yeah, like I said, same ballpark.
Yeah. But yeah, they do the podcast. I don't listen to the podcast because it has too many people on it for my personal taste. Like, way too many people. Like, for their recent episode from, like, yesterday, there's, like, 7 people on the thumbnail. 7 people for a podcast. That's too many. That's too many people. I don't like it. But I also do live watches of, right now, apparently, Dragonite. And also a review of Dragonite. Which it feels weird that you have both of those as separate videos. I feel like you should do one or the other and just meld them into one thing. There's no reason to separate them. It just feels weird. Anyway, this is what I shout out the podcast because I like it. It's the one writer podcast that is both consistent, I like, and that I manage to listen to on a weekly basis. And also, kind of gets to talk about what's going on in the shows at the moment. There's one podcast that's going on that is like a month behind or so.
Oof.
Yeah, and they're also extremely positive on Geo, and I'm like, no.
No.
I disagree. There was one podcast that was negative on Geo, but they stopped.
I give the wanting to be positive on it in the first little bit kind of deal, because it's more hopeful than being positive on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at this point in Geo, no. Just no. It doesn't deserve sympathy. It deserves to die and just be over with already.
Yeah, that's all I have for Quick Toss. So tell me, what is yours?
Well, I guess mine is going from one small group to another. Because I'm shouting out the site. Mm-hmm. That I actually had to pause as I was pulling it up, because thanks autoplay on Chrome. But the base site's actually not got all the bells and whistles the staff one does. No, I'm not going to show the staff one.
Isn't it currently broke?
Kind of the whole reason for that. Oh, technically the whole thing is right now. It's just the rest of it is still working enough. I'm going to have to figure out something for that. I'm still kind of ticked about that. But as you can see on the stream right now, it is a lot cleaner version of it. Effectively, this is kind of the norm going forward. I don't think I'm going to go in to try to make something any bigger than this unless we just really feel the need to add something. But effectively, if you don't want to deal with Twitch, you're more than welcome to pull it up through here. As we do the show that we are currently doing, you can click the TGS articles button up there and it'll actually open the same article list that we're going over on stream. As a matter of fact, that's actually the way that I was pulling the articles up tonight, just so I could test as well. But there's that, the schedule, all the social media links are down at the very bottom, and yes, that over on the right hand side is the highlights. I know it says recent videos. Technically that's the highlights though.
Yeah.
It doesn't pull recent streams. To do that, you'd still have to go to Twitch. If we were on top of that, then yeah.
Well, I highlight them at the end of every week, so...
Yeah, I know. One of those... If I would remember and actually have the time to do it, I could highlight them throughout the week, too. But, yeah. So, those do get updated once a week, though. And the last 20 highlights will show there, so unless every stream goes to be like 3 parts, you'll be able to go back at least a week.
Which shouldn't happen unless, technical difficulties aside. No. Looking at you show from 2 weeks ago. that happened on.
Yeah. That was the internet, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah. But, yeah, all of them are there. They do link to Twitch. They don't actually play within the site. I don't think I'm going to add something like that unless everyone's like, do it. Because I feel like that might be a little bit tricky to do in light of how I've got it set up, but yeah. But that's pretty much what I'm shouting out for the quick draw this week. As I yet again forget to update the bottom text. Way to go.
I was gonna say something, but I figured just let you go.
I forget every time. Every time. Oh well. But yep, so that's my quick draw. Anything you want to add?
No, not really. It's looking really good.
Yeah, I could say the same thing about the staff part right now. Yeah.
The gaming stuff. Somebody got a hold of the 0-1 driver. It's not supposed to be out for like a couple weeks, but in case you want to look, there's the link. It revealed a couple interesting things. First of all, there is some sort of like crevice, I think, in the back of the driver. I'm not sure where it's located. It's hard to tell in the video. But when you depress it in there, it seems to activate some type of advanced form of the current forms we are seeing between the two ProRide keys we have access to, which is the Hopper and the Hawk one. Seemingly, mind you. Secondly, when you have a ProRide key inserted into the driver and try to scan another one, it actually activates an additional attack that multiplies. So it starts at bit, then byte, then kilo, mega, gigabyte. Or kilo, mega, giga. So that's the two things we've learned about the 0-1 material so far. Otherwise, there's not much else because we don't have another ProRide key to work with, and no one has attempted to hack the ProRide or hack the 0-1 driver just yet to try to get sounds out of it. But I got hopes for 0-1. Should look cool. I hope. So do you want to hear about Geo for the week?
I guess.
I think I told you most of it, that we're essentially ending how Decade began with all the worlds seemingly colliding, and they're all happening at the same time now. Tsukasa has his powers back because of the Decade Ride Watch. There's something involving Tsukiyomi and Schwartz's past. I think Schwartz is fused with his younger self, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure how to feel on that one. Gates and Waz got left behind in all this, and they're dealing with all the monsters and stuff at the moment. Kaito got beat in another Geo 2 by Tsukasa going Decade Geo. Because he revealed, oh, I do have a Geo card, so I can be Geo 2. And, also, Geo doesn't have Grand anymore. Because, all the Ride Watch is breaking, and their shows kind of showing up now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. Next week, Geo, it's going to be Geo Trinity versus Oma Geo. And it apparently will fix things, but it won't be quite right when Sogo comes back. So I don't know. I have something in my gut tells me that this show's going to end on a cliffhanger. And I'm going to laugh my ass off if it does.
Also, the site can piss right the fuck off. I'm sorry, I am now at that point.
Is it continuing to not be cooperative?
No, now it's deciding to work.
Yeah, if this show ends on a cliffhanger, I won't even be mad. Like, I can't be mad at this point. I'll just laugh my ass off. Like, I will like, if it does, I will literally go into the donation forums, just go, well, this is my only reaction, and link the Shawn Michaels laughing his ass off video that I do sometimes. Because that's all I got. If this show ends on a cliffhanger and literally truly becomes Decade 2 in more ways than one, I just throw up my hands and give up.
Yeah, the crossover movie will end it, right? And then we'll do a second crossover movie for no reason.
I was about to say, you remember how that went for Decade, right?
Mm-hmm.
that did not go well for him.
No. Not at all.
I do have O's watched for the week, and hey, we now hit that episode that I was telling you about. With Edgy in his dream. And the monster trying to pull it out, but he's went, oh fuck, it's too big, go back in. Yeah, we now hit the that's actually the last episode of the batch.
Well done. I haven't watched yet.
I figured. But yeah, really good episodes though. I originally thought back when I first watched those that it kind of lulled in the middle. But rewatching it, not really.
Not like some of them we've watched has kind of done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like probably the reason why is because of the whole 1,000 episode one. Like,
yeah.
That arc kind of felt horribly out of place, and maybe that caused some of that. And it didn't help that it prolonged some of the story stuff we needed.
Yeah, they pushed like the whole thing with Ankh back like 2 weeks at least.
So I mean that might have been a lot of why it felt that way.
But no, I'm really liking O's. I can confidently say I would rate it higher than I did before, which means it just gets to be one of the better shows I've watched instead of one of the good shows I watched, because it was still up there.
Yeah.
That's all I really got. Anything else?
I can't think of nothing.
All right. If you enjoyed what we watched, and drop us a follow, we really appreciate it. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about the 4 episodes of those that we're watching this week, 33 through 36.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, that doesn't sound right in my head when I said it. I'm like, that can't be their episode numbers.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, 33. Yeah, 33 through 36. And that's gonna end our week of stuff. We don't stream again until next Wednesday when I'm picking up with His Zero, and Thursday with Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
I'm gonna toss this out, but I do have a little project I'm kind of working on too, so that might take precedence over it. I might try to stream Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
I might. It like I said, it depends.
All right.
Because I've got something that I'm definitely going to be working on first, and depending on how distracted I get, I might have to force myself to just work on it.
All right.
As for what I'll be doing either of those days, that's up in the air.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Friday will be us continuing Minish Cap, and Saturday will be whatever we decide to do Saturday.
I have no idea, again, which is kind of the norm.
Yep. Yeah, that'll do it for Tommy. I'm Peace. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.